This is the euro dollar analysis for Wednesday, the 6th of December. Now, let's have a look what happened with prices and where they're likely to, where they might possibly go. So, if we just grab the pen. So on the 5th, we did the analysis here. We had to be aware of the 200 period moving average. 200 period moving average acts as resistance. We didn't see much of saw a brief sell-off. Saw a retest of this 1862 and pretty close to that moving average there, the 200 period moving average here in blue. We've had a breakdown. We didn't see a bullish bounce in around 1830. We broke down to 1810. In around 1810, we did trade slightly below it just there, but we did seem to hold 1810. Now we're up for a retest of 1830. 1830, the very key level, as you can see to the left of the chart. He has acted as support previously and likely to act as resistance as well. We do have the confluence of the 400 period moving average here in black just beneath us as well. So we'll see our price react as 1830, a breakdown from which we'll see a test of 1810. 1810 being tested so as frequently as well, more recently it's been tested. So it's been tested. If it does break down again, we'll likely see a break of 1810. We're looking for a move down to 1771, the next major level of support, as it is marked out here in red. A break from which we're looking for prices to head towards 1728, and beyond that, we're looking at 1710. Depending on market volatility, from where we are at present, 1710 might be the far end of the range. We could possibly head down towards, if we do see quite a lot of market volatility from a catalyst or so, we could potentially head down in towards the 16, let's see where we are, possibly 1680 to the far end of the range. Now, in around 1680 or so, that would likely be the far end of the range. Now, if we do see a breakdown again, these are levels that we are looking to possibly see a bullish buy side bounce off these levels. Now, to the upside, if we do break above this 1830 and we're able to hold on to it, we'll be potentially looking for prices to head towards 1862 in around this area here, where we did have a price stall in around 1862, but we have to be aware of the 200 period moving average, which has acted as resistance on a couple of occasions now. Kind of acted as support here. Not very strong, but we did kind of act as support. So we'll be aware of the 200 period moving average, currently sitting in around at 1880. So in between 1862 and 1880, within this zone, we might see some sell side momentum taking us all the way back down to 1830, possibly down to 1810, and beyond that 1771. Now, if we do successfully navigate both 1862 and the 200 period moving average, the next horizontal level we'll be looking at is 1910. And beyond 1910, we're looking at 1960, from which we're looking for a price movement to head towards 120 and 120.30. So 120 and 120.30. We'd expect, I suppose we could anticipate the far end of the range possibly being around this 1960. If we do see quite a bit of volatility in the market. So in around that 1960, we would possibly expect to see somewhat of some bearishness, possibly retracement back down to that 1910. Now, if we head over to the daily chart just to see how prices are developing before we wrap up here on the euro dollar, get the scaling correct. As we can see here on the euro dollar, we were expecting a third higher low. So we've got a low there, a higher low. We're expecting a third higher low. First indicator that we did see some weakness was the gap down in prices. We've not quite come back up to fill the gap. Let's just have a look at the gap on the hourly actually. So there we are. So on this hourly chart, we do have the gap just there from the market open. We've not come up and filled this gap. It's not a big gap by any stretch. So let's go back over to the daily. So on the daily chart, we did have the gap down in prices. We haven't seen a gap fill. Instead, we've posted this bearish candle on the 5th so far. So we'll see what happens where if we do see further retracement, possibly down towards all the horizontal levels indicated, but also we have to be aware of the 20 period moving average, which is sitting pretty close by as well. Further adding to the confluence, 20 period moving average currently sitting at 1804, so pretty close to that 1810 level, but we do have the 20 period moving average, so we'll be aware of it. It may act as a dynamic level of support for more upside momentum. We did have a strong close to yesterday's candle, not quite near its lows. We did see some retracement in off that 1810. But it was a sizable it was pretty sizable candle closing bearish. Now that should wrap up the euro dollar analysis. Thanks for watching.